Officials are investigating after a 33-year-old man fell to his death this week while touring the Grand Canyon.
Don't look, don't look.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, we told him to come back up. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
The Grand Canyon's awe-inspiring landscape lures visitors globally, offering more than just breathtaking views. It unveils a host of other incredible sights, and the latest is the discovery that will leave everyone stunned. In a study, scientists have unraveled shocking secrets about the landmark, secrets that are enough to make anyone skip a heartbeat. What could the scientists probably see that can leave the world petrified? Are we to prepare ourselves for the worst when it comes to the Grand Canyon? Let's find out. Number 15. The dread of the red rocks. When discussing the dread of the Grand Canyon, one might immediately conjure images of the worst and most ferocious beasts, envisioning mountain lions, tigers, or even bears. While these creatures do indeed align with such expectations, sorry to burst your bubble, we are not referring to any of them. Instead, we focus on our small, furry companions diligently scouring the area for nuts. Still unable to guess? Well, we are talking about the rock squirrel of the Grand Canyon. Now, don't be flattered by their stature, because these squirrels aren't your typical squirrels that'll run away for fear. If anyone should be careful and scared, we should thread their land terrain. Measuring between 17 and 21 inches in size, the rock squirrels are known as the most dangerous animals in the area for several reasons. Apart from their tenacity, which matches their surroundings, they generally exhibit a ferocious nature deemed fatal to unknowing visitors. What's worse is that these squirrels are coordinated. All it takes is a symphony of chirps and chatters from one of them, and you could have a scurry of squirrels intending to kill after you. Many tourists have found themselves in the emergency wards due to attacks from these creatures. Even though their bites weren't as fatal, they almost had their eyes or faces ripped out. Being one of the guardians of the Grand Canyon, it's probably best to keep a safe distance away from them.
Rocky the rock squirrel, she's one of our little squirrels we actually get right here in Arizona.
Very nice.
So if you're on a hike, you might find these guys hanging out on the ground.
Number 14. The bighorn sheep in Grand Canyon. Aside from the little furry knights of the Grand Canyon, an animal that roams the cliffs commanding respect is the bighorn sheep. These sheep are majestic as they are formidable, and their agility and tenacity truly depict the untamed spirit of the canyon. The bighorn sheep easily stand out due to their curved horns. These horns tell how these animals have adapted to their environment over the years, watching every terrain in the Grand Canyon become what it is today. Aside from that, their hooves are also well adapted to navigate the rocky plains of the area. A trait which is not peculiar to their kinsmen, they are capable of climbing rocky plains with ease. Their physical prowess isn't all there is to them. During the mating season, one can hear the thunderous clashes of horns as they fight for dominance. The sheer force with which they clash with each other is what makes them terrifying. To drive home a point, male bighorn sheep can persist in these battles for hours until exhaustion forces one to concede and retreat. One could surmise that a close encounter might leave you with more than just a memorable experience. Let's just say you might not be walking right for a while. Number 13. The curse of the Grand Canyon. For some, there is the belief that curses are merely psychological phenomena. Others think of them as divine punishments for moral transgressions. Whichever belief you have, you should know that many have claimed to receive divine punishments from the Grand Canyon itself. According to local lore, the curse goes back to when people disturbed sacred grounds. It's said that these several transgressions awakened the spirits protecting the land's secrets, and these spirits in turn took it upon themselves to punish the perpetrators. As time passed, the whole chain of events metamorphosed into something else. With people pilfering relics significant to the area, they started to experience ill luck and misfortune, and some others started to fall ill. They were only released after returning the stolen relics to the Grand Canyon Park Rangers. One of the stories depicting the curse of the Grand Canyon is that between Don McGuire and Emma Lee. Lee traded a Navajo blanket with McGuire, but she warned about how she thought it was cursed. Not being a believer, McGuire suffered for years until he eventually lost the blanket. Only then did he notice that which he had overlooked out of doubt. Do you think McGuire's suffering happened by chance? Whatever you think, you've been warned. Number 12. The Mogol Monster. This one is more of a legend than a discovery, and it's said to lie deep within the mystical confines of the Grand Canyon. We are talking about the legend of the Mogol Monster. One can say that the Mogol Monster is a tale made up by parents, probably to keep their kids from wandering off or camping at the Grand Canyon without supervision. And so truly, many might think the story behind the Mogol Monster is just a make-believe that has transcended generations. However, is it? The legend of the Mogol Monster traces back to 1903, when Stevens reportedly first spotted it. According to Stevens' account, he believed he observed similarities with descriptions of Bigfoot. He described the beast with talon-like fingers, each at least 2 inches long, and its hair was long, white, almost concealing its horrid face. Moreover, Stevens emphasized that the creature appeared untamed and on a path to cause harm. Despite Stevens' account, no scientific confirmation of the Mogol Monster in Arizona has been confirmed. Nevertheless, numerous locals have reported sightings around the Mogollon Rim region of northern Arizona, contributing to the creature retaining its name over the years. That said, whenever you are hiking the Grand Canyon near sundown and there's a sudden stillness in the air, be sure to be wary, for the Mogol Monster might lurk. Number 11. An underground Egyptian city. Discovering a new plant species in a particular region is one thing, and encountering an entirely foreign breed of animal in a new land is another. However, stumbling upon an entire city underground, yes, an actual city, takes the notion of exploration to a whole new level of extraordinary. This story has long been under review in the past decades. An article reported that a group of explorers had found remnants of an Egyptian civilization in a massive cave around the Grand Canyon's cliffs. In the so-called city, sitting 2,000 feet above the Colorado River, the explorers found hieroglyphics, mummified remains, and artifacts of Egyptian origin, which was weird owing to the origin of the land itself. The central question lingered. How did these artifacts find their way to this location? Did a group of Egyptians establish a presence within the cave, or were these treasures the spoils of ancient Native American inhabitants? The truth is, these questions remain unanswered. Instead, the tales of the sightings were dismissed by skeptics because the Smithsonian Institution had no records of the findings of the scientists who led the expedition. Could there have been a major cover-up? Or did we hear tales from someone going cuckoo cuckoo? No one truly knows. Number 10. The serpent that lies in the rocky terrains. Considering the nature and habitat of snakes, it wouldn't be surprising how one would find a snake in the Grand Canyon. The landmark has the perfect terrain for snakes to slither around in, mate, or even shed their skin. However, it's one thing to belong in a certain land terrain. It's another to completely master such terrain. That's what makes these snakes terrifying. There are several kinds of snakes in the Grand Canyon. However, the snakes that pose a major threat are rattlesnakes. The scales of rattlesnakes are well adapted to the land terrain, as they can easily camouflage themselves and blend with the environment. They not only have a nasty bite, but are also very aggressive and vicious. If one should get bitten, it could take a matter of minutes before they meet a fatal end. There are 2 major varieties of rattlesnakes in the Grand Canyon. They include the Great Basin, the Grand Canyon pink rattlesnake, and the Mojave green. The Mojave is considered the most evil, possessing a venom that packs a punch. On the other hand, the pink rattlesnake is venomous but not compared to the Mojave, and it can only be found in the Grand Canyon. In most cases, the snakes wouldn't attack first, so it is best to mind where you are stepping. Number 9. The Grand Canyon Luxury Suite. The next discovery is more shocking than it is terrifying. Imagine having a 2- or 3-star rated suite right in the middle of a cave in the Grand Canyon. Well, that's precisely what this is. It turns out that there is a comfy accommodation located 200 feet below the canyon caverns in Peach Springs, and it's regarded as one of the world's oldest, quietest, and deepest rooms in the world. Fascinating, right? This luxurious retreat didn't accidentally stumble into the caverns. It was meticulously crafted in 1927 by Walter Peck, a man renowned for his extreme pursuits in the quest for gold in the canyon. On an ordinary day, while engrossed in his relentless pursuit of gold, Walter encountered a sparkling wall in the cavern, sparking hope of a monumental discovery. Investing in the entire location, he soon realized it wasn't the gold mine he envisioned. Undeterred, Walter transformed the site into a tourist attraction for money, evolving into the multifaceted venue it is today. The caverns now boast a restaurant, an RV park, and a frisbee golf course. Seek an ideal suit to immerse yourself in finishing a book or simply escaping. This unique underground retreat should undoubtedly be on your list of must-visit places. Number 8. Havasu Falls. Taking a little break from terror, we are down to the heart of the Havasupai Reservation, the Havasu Falls. The Havasu Falls is more like the jewel amid the trees and rocky plains of the Grand Canyon. Cascading from clearly colored red rocks, the waters appear turquoise as they find their way into the enchanting pools surrounded by rugged terrain. The Havasu Falls is well hidden in the canyon. Before one could make their way there, they'd have to hike through the rugged canyon, a reward like none other. Any adventurer would love the scenery and path that leads there. Luckily, unlike back then, there is now accommodation around Havasu Falls. So if you want to go for an adventure at the Grand Canyon, you can stop by to cool off or relax. Better still, you can also go on a vacation to visit the Havasu Falls. Number 7. The Grand Canyon Skywalk. For those who revel in facing a touch of terror head-on, the Grand Canyon Skywalk is a daring adventure tailored just for you. We are talking about the Grand Canyon Skywalk. Right within the embrace of the canyon's walls, the Skywalk is a daring creation of man to witness the Grand Canyon in all its magnificence and glory. The Skywalk is built thousands of feet above the canyon floor and stretches out to form a horseshoe shape. Made of only glass, this creation can rush excitement intertwined with a touch of fear. However, amidst all the rushing feelings, it promises a panoramic view of the Grand Canyon. From the Skywalk, you can gaze upon the farthest reaches of the Grand Canyon, enveloped in the crisp whispers of the wind. It's an artist's dream, offering a perfect vantage point for capturing the canyon's beauty in all its grandeur. Truly, the Grand Canyon Skywalk stands as one of humanity's wonders, inviting us to admire the glory of creation from a perspective that both thrills and mesmerizes. Number 6. Grand Canyon, caves with sloth dung. Straight to the Rampart Cave in the Grand Canyon, we would come across a cave filled with sloth dung. This cave was discovered in the mid-1930s and was majorly covered in a material known as coprolite. It's said that the cave housed hundreds of Shasta ground sloths in the southwest throughout the Ice Age. They could only survive the harsh conditions using their powerful teeth that could tear any plant and pose a threat to predators. For nearly 40,000 years, the sloths thrived in this subterranean haven before eventually vacating. Rampart Cave is a unique fortress sculpted by the Grand Canyon. It is a testament to its resilience against the sands of time. It played a very important role in sheltering a species that might have faced extinction were it not for the protective embrace of this ancient refuge. As we explore the depths of Rampart Cave, we unearth sloth dung and a living chronicle of survival and adaptation etched into the heart of the Grand Canyon's storied landscape. Number 5. The case of appearing and disappearing bodies. A persistent, mysterious enigma surrounding the Grand Canyon is the phenomenon of appearing and disappearing bodies that have baffled observers over the years. Instances abound where individuals go missing, only for their bodies to reappear in unexpected locations after prolonged periods. Unfortunately, some aren't as fortunate, and their bodies are never recovered. While the logic behind this phenomenon remains elusive, it continues to fuel speculation, with various theories circulating among the populace. Some link the occurrences to the legendary Mogol Monster, while others attribute them to the intricate topography of the land. Additionally, a subset believes in a clandestine crime syndicate operating within the Grand Canyon, which has evaded authorities for an extended period. Despite the multitude of theories, pinpointing the main reason remains elusive. It's crucial to acknowledge that search and rescue operations are inherently challenging due to the vast and rugged nature of the terrain. Therefore, exercising utmost caution, especially for those unfamiliar with the canyon, becomes imperative. Seeking the guidance of a knowledgeable guide is not just a recommendation, it's a necessary step to ensure one's safety amidst the mysteries that shroud the Grand Canyon. Number 4. Havasupai Tribe. We cannot talk about the Havasu Falls without talking about the Havasupai Tribe. The Havasupai people are the people who ruled and dominated the Grand Canyon for over 800 years. Some still believe that their kindred spirits live and look over the land and fight back if they feel it's threatened. The Havasupai tribe lived in harmony with the Grand Canyon, engaging in activities like hunting, farming, and various agricultural practices. Their approach respected the delicate balance of nature, emphasizing a symbiotic relationship with the land. However, their peaceful existence faced a significant threat when the United States compelled the tribe to relinquish approximately 500 acres of their ancestral land. Subsequently, the Silver Rush and the construction of railroads further encroached upon their fertile territories, forcing more tribesmen to relocate. Legend has it that the ancestral spirits of the Havasupai tribe remain unsettled, angered by the land's mistreatment. Believers contend that these spirits are prepared to retaliate against those who offend the sacred terrain. Number 3. The Uranium Deposit. The uranium deposit in the Grand Canyon is viewed as a blessing by many locals and the government alike. Uranium mines hold considerable benefits, ensuring the land's capacity to produce nuclear energy, generate revenue, and yield various advantages. However, the inherent challenge with minerals like uranium is the potential for unchecked exploitation, leading to terrifying consequences. The mining of uranium commenced around the 1950s at Orphan Mine, situated not far from the village. Initially, the Orphan Mine was the sole site believed to harbor uranium, but before long, the number of mines increased by a large margin. Over the years, approximately 8 major deposits have been unearthed, with the recently active Pinyon Plain Mine joining the roster. Amidst the intensive mining activities, indigenous communities and conservation agencies have fervently opposed constant mining, emphasizing the need for legislation around these sites. Regrettably, progress in this regard has been slow. The implications for the Grand Canyon are alarming. Within a few years, the region could transform into a complete radioactive zone, rendering it uninhabitable for humans and animals. Villagers would face elevated risks of contracting terminal illnesses, such as cancer. Moreover, the environment would suffer uranium contamination, adversely affecting other natural resources essential for the well-being of the ecosystem. Number 2. The terrifying creation of the Grand Canyon. Next, we come to the creation of the Grand Canyon itself. Creation as we know it is a thread of fascination and terror on its own. The mere act of bringing something into existence or forming landscapes like the Grand Canyon is beautiful, yet terrifying. The truth is that the forces at play most of the time give birth to something completely new and often unpredictable. These tend to affect us, humans. The Grand Canyon is a product of one of the world's most erosional features. That said, It only came to be due to the erosion brought about by wind, water, and various other physical factors. It took millions of years for the Grand Canyon to become what it is today, and it might take a little more to transform into something unprecedented. Upon geographical inspection, scientists learned that the volume of the canyon itself showed that approximately 1,000 cubic miles of material had been lost from the northern region of Arizona. This is what produced the majority of the topographic layout of the canyon. Yet, this is just one facet of the story. Additional erosion contributed to the creation of the Colorado Plateau and the Kaibab Plateau, all converging to craft the majestic Grand Canyon we behold. Number 1. The shape-shifting power of the Grand Canyon. Shape-shifting is a trait known to be inherent to barely a few living things. The ability to change from one shape to another. Well, let's just say it could come in handy, especially if one doesn't want to be spotted. However, if something as inanimate and encompassing as the Grand Canyon possesses shape-shifting power, that's just ridiculous, right? Yet, this is another element that adds to the mystique and, yes, the terror of the Grand Canyon. Over time, numerous reports have surfaced regarding a perceptible shift in terrain, with boulders and objects relocating from their original positions. Remarkably, this phenomenon has been echoed consistently by tourists and hikers alike. According to a few scientists, these so-called changes might have been brought about by tectonic activities or landslides. Whatever the cause, one thing remains certain. In its seemingly calm majesty, the Grand Canyon has once again demonstrated that it is a dynamic and ever-evolving entity, alive with forces that continue to shape its mind-blowing landscape. As we conclude this exploration into the mysterious discoveries at the Grand Canyon, it's clear that the secrets hidden within its depths are both captivating and deeply unsettling. However, that is what makes the canyon a geological and natural wonder. As we unravel mind-boggling things about more landmarks, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. Unto the next one.